Everybody. So yesterday we had a chance to work on our bear in a scarf, and we started with that sideways C. And we made it big enough to fill the space so that we'd have plenty of room to show the details. So trace with your finger first, where would you like your bear head to be? Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the exact same shape to make our snow globes. And the globe is going to be on the top. We know it's rounded, but we're going to make the base very similar as we did yesterday. So I'm going to draw it in Sharpie to show you, but you can see when I did mine here, I drew it first in pencil. So I'm going to draw mine in pencil so you can see, and then I am going to switch over to my Sharpie. So I'm going to make that shape. First, try it with your finger. That sometimes helps you realize how you want to do it with your drawing tool. So I'm making the shape I want. I want it to be big because I want to show a lot of things in my globe. So I'm going to just practice that shape, and then I'm going to draw it. See, I don't worry if it's a little mistake here. I can fix that later. So I'm going to just trace over it like this with my finger. I did it in pencil first. And like yesterday, I'm going to make that line a little bit curvy, not as round, a little bit curvy, because that's where it's going to sit in its base. You see what I'm doing with my finger? I'm actually smearing some of that pencil mark, which actually helps if I work very lightly. You'll notice when I do this, I don't just use my fingers and hold it real tight. I hold it where my whole arm is drawing with me. And when I do that, I can actually just smear and make it look like it's glowing, my globe. Now yesterday we made our lines straight down for his scarf. Today we're going to make our lines curve a little bit because we want our base to be strong. We don't want that globe to go falling. So I'm going to make the base a little more curvy. I kind of like the way it looks when it's glowing. Now just like this line curves a little bit, notice how it's not so curvy like a C. I'm going to curve it like this because we know it's round. I'm going to keep up that. And I want to have another sort of base, so I'm going to make these like curvy lines again. And I'm going to do the same shape a little bigger. And there I have my base. Right now, it could be like the gumball machine we do in first grade. It could be like a snowman's head or the start of a bear. So many different things we could make with that. But that's the start. That's C, which is kind of like a circle, but a little flatter here because it's sitting on the base. We made the base wider so that it could hold it so that the globe doesn't go falling off. Next thing, I don't want it to float, so I'm going to put it on a table. Here's my table on it. Looks like it's behind, like that. So I went through the steps there, and I wanted to show you in pencil so you could see how I start normally. But right now, since I'm showing you on the paper and I want you to be able to see it, I'm going to go over it with the Sharpie and the steps again. So I went upside down, or sideways C. Look at how it curves like the C. Not, it could be a U too, but usually we don't make our U's so rounded. I'm going to draw a flattened line here. I'm going to repeat that line down here. Oh, I forgot to show you my sides. They come out diagonal. Diagonal because we want it to be strong enough to hold the base. And then I like to make another. Look at how I made those lines curve. And they're not exactly the same, and that's okay. Art's not perfect. And there we go. And if I don't do it right, I can always go back and make it look a little bit bigger there. Those little touches sometimes make the art look a little bit more interesting. So if I'm going to be making a snow globe, the first thing I want to do is I want to put some snow at the bottom. So I'm going to make a curvy line that goes from one side to the other. And now you have to decide, what am I going to put in my snow globe? Is it going to be the bear from yesterday? Is it going to be a house? Is it going to be an evergreen tree? Is it going to be a snowman? I think I'm going to start mine with a snowman. I'm going to follow those same steps that I started yesterday, except I'm going to just make a full circle. And then I'm going to give him a scarf too. Now we know he's a little rounder than the bear. And then I'm going to just look like he's kind of plopped in the snow. So we're only going to see the second part of him, like that. I'm going to give him some arms, like the letter Y, like the letter Y. Now his scarf, I'll kind of follow what I did yesterday. I'll make that rectangle hang down. I'll give it some tassels. Maybe the other part of the scarf is back here, like that. And I don't really mind if you see the hand through it now, because I'll color it in. Now I'm going to make him a hat, so I'm going to go across. I probably should have curved it more, but again, not a problem. I'm going to give him a top hat, like that. I might even give him a band across it, like that. And then I'm going to think, where do I want his eyes to go? I might make them like two solid black, like that. Now, if you remember the V for the ice cream cone, or the alphabet bird, it's kind of like that long V, not so wide, and then I just give it a curved line to look like a carrot. Now you can draw little dots for the mouth, so it looks like there's little stones that you found, or you could just make it a smile like that. There you go. So I have one snowman, and if I were drawing an evergreen tree, I probably would use those zigzag lines on the diagonal, zigzag lines on the diagonal. But I think for today, I'm going to make another snowman. And you can see in my sample that I made all different kinds of snowmen, sometimes with 3 circles, sometimes with just 2, but this one's long, and then I gave him some arms, all different kinds of hats. He even got a nose that looks kind of like a peach. It's from my favorite story, The Snowman. What I like about that story so much is that there are no words. It's all music that tells the story along with the pictures. All right, so I'm going to make another snowman for mine. You do what you like. My upside down C. Across you go. I'll make my scarf more like I did yesterday. There we go. I'll make the body. Maybe it's a snow couple. Or maybe you want to make a snow family. And maybe they're looking at each other. So there's the nose pointing this way. Maybe this time I'll make the scarf blowing in the breeze like this. That rectangle that curves a little bit. Maybe this one will blow this way. Forgot his buttons. I'll give some buttons. They're kind of hidden by my scarf. Maybe I'll add a pattern like I did yesterday, since I remember that. There we go. Maybe this will be dots, polka dots, all over his scarf, just like that. Maybe this time the eyes will be a little bit wider. Maybe I'll even give her eyelashes. Maybe they're a snow couple. And maybe this time I'll use little stones like this. Maybe this time I'll make it a cap that kind of looks like it's hanging. There we go. And maybe I'll take it up like a triangle, or stretched out V, up like that. So you can see that V there. And I'll add a little pom-pom toward the end. I kind of like that a lot. And since they're snowmen, I want to put some snowflakes in the sky. Like somebody shook up my snow globe. This time I can't give as many details as I did yesterday because they are smaller. But I could definitely go in and add some dots, make it look like the snow is falling. And then you're going to notice that when I colored mine, here I colored my table one color, my base another. You'll notice that I used the blue inside the globe up here. And over here, I used the window frame. And I drew almost like I could see the outdoors there. So you can see the background's colored, the table, inside my globe, my window, whatever you want to put on the background is up to you. So that for me is good. I'm going to stop right there for you. And I'm going to think about how I want to color it. This time, I think when I color, I might color with my crayons or my markers. And if you remember, we talked about how to use the marker like paint. So I could take my marker, and if I wanted to, I could actually go and color, and then use my paintbrush and just a little bit of water, and I could spread that marker just along the edges. Maybe I don't want to get too close to my snowman. That's up to me. See how it spreads? Kind of like that. And I'm going along the edge. Oh yeah, I kind of like the way that looks. All along the edge, all along the edge. Gently pulling it toward the inside so it looks like it gets lighter as it goes in. And I could spread it all the way down if I want to, or I could go back and actually make some white snowflakes with my crayons. You do what you like for your piece. That's what I started with mine. Have fun.